What's up, y'all? So he did he doctored in After Dark again. I need my little thing to cover up my screen. One second. Do y'all remember that song? Do y'all remember that song by I don't know who it was by, but it was called If You Don't Know Me by Now. You feel what I'm saying? But we did he doctored in After Dark again, working on our own stuff and oh my goodness, right? So I don't know how this is gonna come out because there are lots of factors at stake. So I just heard Pray Tell Melanie King. Is that her name? Let me see if I can pull her up, y'all. I will not be adjusting any camera. Sorry. Because I can't. So, I'm happy to be doing it this way. Just bear with me. So let's see here. We gotta do Melanie King. I believe that's her name. She on YouTube, Melanie King. So as I've been explaining, it's better for me um when I'm able to approach someone's channel like disability considerate. You know what I'm saying? So in other words, certain voices appeal to me, but the rougher and more abrasive the voice, the less I can listen to your channel a lot. So let's see. And that's just a personal, like, that's a disability suggestion. Like for people that maybe have similar issues, maybe you could take some of my suggestions, for example, of people you might like to listen to. But Melanie King was on it today. She's been on it quite a few times. And one second, so grab this right here. I was ready, but I wasn't ready. And I live in the country, and we got new owners, and they, let's just say all hands on deck. You know how it is. So, yeah. So, yeah, she was explaining how apparently Diddy's defense. So get this in full from Melanie King, y'all. It's spelled just like you think it probably is. But apparently Diddy's defense is about to be there's a war, so why are you all even messing with me? And so with that, of course, I got to go look this shit up, because if that's going to be his defense on the stand, then what the fuck else is going to happen? Like, no, like real talk. At some point, like I got tired of being harassed. I was kind of like there's a part where Ali Carter mentions that they got pulled over like 12 times in 8 states or something, or 4 states to make it worse. But the point is that I experience a lot of anxiety due to past circumstances when I get pulled over by the police. And there was a time when my thing was, why, like, there is real crime being happened. Like, why are you pulling me over because of my extra, license plate that I was kind of having just for my own fun? You know what I'm saying? I was celebrating buying a car for the first time, and I ain't have a car payment. And I had to go to another state to get it because my state kicks my ass in everything that I do. It tries to be extra egregious. Meanwhile, I have a mother who's written books about how this is the greatest state. It's in the Northwest Territory. Apparently, we special people with special things. When I think of us, I tend to think of when Martin Luther King said, I'm gonna get to the mountaintop. We're gonna get to the mountaintop. I might not get there with you, because there is something about this state, or somewhere in my literature is leading me to believe that because of the Northwest Because of the ordinance of 1787, this is the mountaintop. What is it, 1787? Whatever the peace treaty, right, is what I'm talking about. But so it makes me just feel like, okay, there's all this glory. And then it's so embarrassing at the same time, because we have what I like to call the B crew is in everything. Everything you're experiencing right now is the B crew. The A crew got, I have to say, like, I don't know how to say it, but they either retired or expired during the first pandemic. That was the A crew. The A crew is similar to what I call SMEs when you go to work at these customer service jobs out west, because I ain't never experienced that shit over here. But you have SMEs, subject matter experts. You should know this, people, when you call in. There's a subject matter expert that's walking around there. At least there was. This has been many years ago, though. And this person knew every damn thing, and you didn't know shit. You was learning it as you went along. And there's so much. And then this was during the time where either there was so much ID theft, or there was so much what you call it. So either it was due to ID theft, or it was something about computers, like, you know what I'm saying? But it was PPI. You wasn't supposed to write nobody's stuff down, so you couldn't take notes no more. I started to struggle in jobs because I don't even know I have issues. And transitioning from a person who had been able to take notes, and this was my success. Now, because I wasn't able to take notes, it was more difficult for me to take tests. So I had to fully look my gift horse in the face. I had to fully look at myself like, oh, I'm gonna need some more time to take this test. You know what I'm saying? And then we had to start putting notes in computers. And then when you're at work and you put a note in the computer, like, you gotta have all these screens up to get your notes. So I still struggle. Y'all, I know that y'all don't experience this, but those of you who do might have a disability, because I'm gonna be kind enough to tell you, because nobody told me. So I have been struggling for all these years, thinking I was super fucking smart, and I just took really good notes, I think is what it was. But I ain't afraid to say that. I feel like it's a failure of the system. It's a failure of the education system. It's a failure of every fucking system, including the ones that are technically and literally failing me now. We will deal with that later. I came here to talk about Diddy, girl. All right. So peep this, okay? According to Melanie King, if I can pull her up, I will. Diddy's defense is going to be to point out that there is a worldwide conflict right now. So the least of our worries in this entire manpower situation should be placed upon him. Literally putting our resources into worrying about what the fuck he was doing at a freak off, okay, is way too much. Y'all need to be paying attention to the bigger issues, because after all, he's president pro tem, apparently, in his head, so he could tell us what the fuck to do with our resources, okay? Our resources are protecting your damn trial, sir, to the point where people don't have to address the bigger issues we all know and think that you are about, okay? While you talking about our resources. Anyway, so I just wanted to share like a couple things about that. First of all, for him to sit up there and be the one saying that we are expending our resources too much on him rather than focusing on the bigger thing. So let me ask you this. Can we go down in history and let's ask, where in what part of history did we ignore crime and criminals because there were, I just want to see, does that actually happen? Do people get ignored? Has there been a time in the world where you get ignored as a person that disobeyed the law because we are in conflict. Because I started thinking, now, see, that's on the one, I get to stretch. This is my channel. I get to stretch my imagination. Okay. Is that the one and only way? Hold on, let me type something real quick, y'all. I can't multitask right now because then I'm going to forget that point anyway. When in history, in the entire historical record of histories, has the U.S. ignored crime and criminals? Because he ain't not in there for a traffic ticket. We do know this, right? He's in that's the federal courthouse. He with the big dogs. They got a high conviction rating. When in the history have we ignored crime and criminals due to conflict abroad? Has there been such a time? And I will stand corrected and we'll learn a lot. 1 second. Let's see what happens. I did have something planned for y'all. And then I started doing this. All right. Listen, let me just give us a little ear candy first, because I like my ear candy. And I think I got something that is relatively suitable for play. Just one moment. We're on a really old version of Windows, guys. Okay, let's see. Will it let me do this? So yeah, it's not, but I think I can just hold it there though. All right. So, wow, what the hell was that? So y'all, okay. So here's what the thing says. It says this is a that's not the one. Hold up. All right. While there isn't here, let me give y'all some face candy. Okay. It's the best I can do here. Okay. All right. So while there isn't a direct historical period where the U.S. explicitly ignored all domestic crime due to foreign conflict, the relationship between foreign conflict and domestic crime / law enforcement is complex and has manifested in several ways. Shifting priorities and resources, focus on foreign threats. During times of significant international conflict, national attention and resources naturally shift towards foreign policy and national security. Why do he know that? Was Kanye right? Why did he even know? Oh, well, ain't y'all supposed to be shifting the focus right now? Ain't y'all got something to do? And the thing I was going to say earlier is this. Outwardly, I don't think that some people that Diddy has asked for help could really support them, because I don't feel like I feel like this is such a turbulent time. Like, I don't know if we're allowed to speak freely, but let's just say that I just don't think people can outright help him, because it damages their credibility. But and then you remember anyway, y'all. You just consider that for a second, okay? All right. So back to the readings here. All right. National attention and resources naturally shift, can lead to a de-emphasis on certain domestic issues, including some aspects of crime. Law enforcement agencies might face personnel shortages. Okay, that's not directly what I'm thinking, but I mean, war-related issues, post-war spikes, domestic policies, post-era, neglect of certain regions or issues. So it's just giving us when those times occurred. Ignoring is a strong word. It's unlikely that the U.S. government would ever officially ignore domestic crime. However, the allocation of resources, political attention, no. Because I could have sworn somebody said something about a bedroom cop. Like, these people, listen, this is why trials need to be public, and why, period. Just that, because the fact that the trials have been public have led to circumstances now where we're dealing with people that sell things. They have products, they have followings, okay? And we can't maximize, like, when you get to this level where somebody is accusing you in court of these types of things, I just feel like you should be able to, if you're accused of something, that needs to be known, okay? You need to know we need to know, if you're a public figure, what you're being accused of. At least what you're being accused of. And honey, I need to see, because this is not your typical court case. It's not at all. All right, so to go on, basically, there may not be clear-cut historical instances of the U.S. completely ignoring domestic crime due to foreign conflict. There are numerous examples of how foreign conflicts have significantly influenced the focus and resources and strategies of domestic law enforcement and the overall approach to crime in the United States. I just had to get the question satisfied for myself, but I did notice that if this is going to be their approach, then there are a few different suggestions of how they will implement their approach. So let's take a look at those. Yes, we are totally Diddy Docket and After Dark. I did have some slick music, though. Let me see if I can stick it to it. I'm telling y'all, the stuff I usually talk on my page, some of it seemed like, yeah, things, we just gotta hold on tight, y'all. Just hold on tight. I'm telling you. Somebody intentionally be trying to take you down turbulent times when that ain't got to be the case. You know what I'm saying? It ain't got to be the case. All right. One moment, y'all. Let me get this organized and we'll jump into something. Just because I want to see. Like, these should be mixed down. So, okay. I had a lot of different little thoughts. I can't really get my maximum chill on because, like I said, boots is on the ground around here. Let's see. Cassie got ass. Oh, okay. So I was thinking about this in general, right? First of all, Brendan, he says he doesn't work for a criminal, but yet I want y'all to think about criminal movies, right? In what situation did you ever see a crime movie? Your Scarfaces, your Godfathers, if this was ever involved in any of them, okay? In what situation did you ever see a guy who wasn't working for a criminal sitting up there working for the guy and snorting at the same time? He's snorting on the job. Is he sneaking and snorting? I don't understand. I really just don't understand the dynamic. That's all I'm saying. All right, so let's see. I had an off-brand thought that Bob Ross is the ops. Just because Bob Ross, y'all, I remember I was that age. I saw Bob Ross live. But see, Bob Ross came on after Sesame Street and Electric Company got either off the air or was off for the day. He was some shit that used to put me to sleep all the time. And the weird thing is I like art. So I feel like Bob Ross was the ops. First of all, because his name was Ross to get our attention. He had an afro to get our attention. But his strokes, okay, and his pattern of speaking is real oppish, okay? Because I'm telling you, that was some hypnotizing shit. Now, I haven't watched it in my adult life to really see, but yeah, Bob Ross is the ops. Of course, that's my joke for today. Now, taking a look at Cassie, okay, and all Diddy's girls. So I do got some eye candy for y'all for that. Let's see if I can get it all though. Well, we'll start with what we got, okay? All right. Now, I don't got the Kim one up here. It was weird that I downloaded like pretty much all of them. Every picture came through except for, let's go with this one. Look at her face, okay? Look at her in the face. Now, I heard the dopest nerd. Shout out to the dopest nerd, the dopest dog, and the dopest mod with the dopest family. I don't know when that's going to stop, baby girl. I guess you got the dopest everything, but it's all good. That's your brand. All right. So she was saying, she was pointing out, I think it was her, because I watch a lot of content. Okay. I'm cool. I like all y'all. Now I even like Donut because there's always a backstory. Let me give my Donut shout out. He might not like me doing it, or I don't know the guy right. So, but I liked his content after. See, Jaguar, I didn't like nobody that would mess with that lady because I felt like she was telling a truth. Okay. So I don't like people who, well, you know, I've talked about a lot of times like bullying, but like, I don't, when I got into the gay life, somebody told me about these two words, and they're still the most notoriously undermining and, dare I say, evil words I've ever ran into. They were the most evil words in the English language, and that was shade and trees. Okay. When Donut delivers, he has an underscore of shade in almost everything he says. This is my opinion. Okay. So he was trying to shade Jaguar, but see, and I'm just going to be honest about it. Like, I've been through those struggles. I pray younger people don't have to go through it. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I went through it as an older person. I didn't go through it when I was young. I was very, like, things were well put together. But I experienced my issues. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not perfect. And I don't look, when I'm on YouTube, I'm not looking at people for perfection. I'm looking for a truth. I'm looking for this inevitable thread that we all might be looking for on here, and that is, what is wrong with this world? What has happened? Something is awry. Okay? Something is not stirred well in the Kool-Aid. That's how I feel especially then, that's how I felt on a general basis. You follow what I'm saying? So it's a couple other people, like, they really resonated with me because I believed I was hearing a truth. I still believe that. I've wavered on Jaguar just because of timing of things. Okay. So I can't tell why the timing of when certain things started to be mentioned, and I started seeing a change in people. Like, but I really felt like I saw that, you know. So I started kind of, just as a person who views a lot of content, I just started to step back. Most of them, my intent, like when I first came on here, I was just going to advertise the people who make content, not, you know, I didn't want anything for it. I just, especially with the Diddy content, I think it was, I wanted people to hear it from a perspective that seemed wholesome, that didn't seem it was, you know, tainted with a lot of, you know, I guess, honestly, I wasn't listening to anybody that was about his innocence. I'm just going to be honest with you, not straight about it, because I started hearing about this stuff. I'm his age almost. Like, I started hearing about this stuff a long time ago. In and out of things, in and out. That's all the stuff they won't mention, is the stuff that I guess is so old now, you can't do nothing to nobody about it. But the thing is, like, this involves people's lives. Like, it affects families on off into generations. Did y'all know, and this is not one thing alleging the other, but did y'all know that Miss Wallace passed like right before the trial started? This case got so many, dare I say, it's just got a lot of trauma involved, is the way I'm gonna say it. It's got a lot of trauma behind it. I always say and joke that he has more circumstances that could be allegedly involved with himself than like somebody who had an Egyptian artifact. You know what I'm saying? Like, not since someone had an Egyptian artifact have I seen this much unaliving. Okay, this much just stuff, y'all. I just haven't never ever seen it. Not like this. So yeah, it's because of that it's like, what is going on? So they resonated with me, and then I was just gonna make videos about people who I really gotta have my ear candy. I wanted to make videos about people who I felt like were telling the truth. Then they started sending all the investigators around to everybody's house, and then all of them were on one person's channel all together. And then I was like, okay, is these the ops ones, or is it the other ones that I hear? I couldn't tell what was going on. It looked like I was watching Sesame Street again. It's like, which one of these things do not belong here? Like, which one of these is not the cool guy no more? Which one took the money? Okay. And that's when I started seeing Jag different. So back to Donut, when Donut was with her in this area that I didn't know where certain individuals hang out, I was like, oh, okay. Because I like those individuals. I thought I liked them. And then, yo, I'm telling y'all, this is a crazy case. All I can say is, oh, I don't know how to say it. Every group that I have admired, that we look up to in our community, is being attacked in this case. And then we ain't gonna take this man all the way to the hill. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna make all of this come out. Now's the time for it to come out. For once in their lives, we wouldn't have to guess. We wouldn't have to wait until the next president or the next president or the next president before we knew what happened in this, that, or the other. You know how like now they're undoing the Martin Luther King and the John Kennedy. It's like we wouldn't have to wait if you just prosecuted it now. We shouldn't have we need to know if these men and or whoever was involved, if y'all shouldn't have let the one dude off. Y'all set a precedent when whoever was doing these cases set a precedent when they let the Jeffries dude off, the dude the Abercrombie and Fitch guy. They set a precedent. You can't not let the black guy go if you let him go. Fuck that shit about age. When you are doing some shit like that, and it's a whole bunch of people now that's grown, that's so messed up, and I talk continually about about the statistics on this shit. Because essentially, when you look at the statistics, you have to when you step back, you need to know that what you're seeing is victims, some of them, being made into alleged people that's involved with the same kind of crime. Because them is the very same people don't got the ability to say no, don't have the ability to stand up for themselves like they should be able to. Because that's been beat out of them. Back to beating, I can conclude my point now. Not to have that like that and be said so roughly, I apologize. But so on the Dopest Nerd, she was evaluating how from the time that she was evaluating the overlap between Cassie's experience being abused and the freak offs to her court case beginning and end. I think that's what she was doing, but y'all have to review her channel. It's The Dopest Nerd. I don't know if it's THE or THA. And yes, I would go through it on my computer, but my computer ain't like that. My computer got a first name. It's OSCAR. Oh man. But anyway. And so I started thinking, because the whole time I've been thinking, okay, why are some of them getting beat and some of them are not getting beat? Okay. Why did Cassie get abused that much? And I think it's for him, it's a find. This guy is not good, y'all. You understand what I'm saying? He's not good. He's a find. He finds these people. But my question is, what is the connection? Why is it Cassie? Why is it? I think we know why it's Jane. If some of us who's been on YouTube a long time and heard this story and think it might be the story that it is, I think I can figure Jane out. But Cassie, I feel like, is she somebody's relative? Because for a while I was sitting here looking at it so bad that I started thinking, well, okay, so see, both of them sing, the dopest nurse sing and Cassie sing. But what was Diddy trying to do at the club that night? Or why? It's because it seemed like maybe after that he started beating people. And then he wanted, it seemed like he wanted to take every dude's girl. So that's that old Scarface bullshit, right? Because he had the big guy's girl. It's almost like by capturing the woman, he felt like he captured the dude. Okay. Like he was taking some of their essence. And it's funny because I got this book, and this book was called Real. Okay. And it does talk about energy transfer. Like, so, but I didn't think I didn't think nothing of it. I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah, okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, but it talks about it in a way where, okay, so Pete, here's my final analysis, right? My thing was when he got sued by the dopest nerd, he put Cassie on the freak offs and was beating her. Then when he got sued by Cassie, he put Jane in the freak offs. He just wasn't beating her. Is he using other women to pay back the money he's losing? He like, because that would be a, I dare say pimp, because pimp is not really the word. This man is beyond this mentality of generalisticness that we call pimp. They are Jeffrey Epstein level, pardon me, JE level simps, okay? Because this is involving abuse, allegedly, and very monstrous types of deeds. These aren't something that you just call, in pimping to me is Cat Williams. Is Cat on it's pimping, playful pimping, like acting pimping. No, this is some other stuff they're doing. And this is what they won't bring up. And they should have. Because why not now? Why not in 2025? Will you not say and sit in a courtroom and call a spade a spade? Technically. I don't mean that in no kind of way, because come on, right? But yeah, I don't know, y'all. If you do think something about it, let me know. But tomorrow, I guess we gotta hear the defense of, no. See, why y'all coming after me? Don't you got bigger fish to fry? That's what he sit up there thinking with his old arrogant butt. Don't you got bigger fish to fry than Diddy? And when you look into JE and his Ghislaine ties, Ghislaine going back to her dad going back to his involvements, and JE, who continued on for JE? Is he in court right now? Allegedly. Because there's a lot of similarities here between these two guys. So how we know? And that's the thing. Okay, so I was thinking about how, what they should do, like if he plays with them like that, if he actually goes into saying, okay, well, y'all should worry about something else. It brought to mind Super Troopers. Because at the beginning of Super Troopers, right, they're pulling over these guys that's just sitting there and smoking marijuana in the car. And then they never really pull them over because out from nowhere comes this speeding car down the street. And he was like, Mother of God. And they started chasing the dudes, but they put the other dudes in the back seat. So if y'all gonna go chase Iran and the conflict that's going on right now, put Diddy in the plane with y'all. Take him on with y'all. Then that way you didn't let the alleged criminal go. That's all we're saying. Okay? Do your fucking job, man. I'm doing my job. Oh man. That was just a little quick one. Thank y'all for stopping by. If you've been checking these out. And hey, if I could think about something else, I would. I got plenty of shit to do. But for some reason, when I hear this read, I hear these little snippets of information that I feel like is important. You know what I'm saying? Like, legal strategy is quite something. And I can see why nobody else is coming to really testify, because just like I'm read, even though it was dry as hell, like right now I'm just tired, right? But even the other day when I was reading about the mens rea, it might not have been the most well-delivered content, but it's kind of what happened today. You know what I'm saying? Because, and a lot of other people have said this too. I'm not claiming that kind of thing. I'm just saying that I started to, because you can't just nowadays, you got to know the law. You actually have to know the law, because we have entered Team B territory, and Team B needs a subject matter expert to tell them. Team B doesn't know everything that Team A knew, and Team A did not get the proper situation and time to train Team B. We are all new on our jobs right now. And there used to be this commercial that I really used to like. And it used to be this man, and he was on this airplane, right? And then something would happen to the pilot. And I think it was like a Netflix or a Hulu commercial, because it was good, though. We used to say this at the job. One of those kind of jobs. But the guy would be like, the lady would come down after the, pilot has some sort of issue. And she would say, does anybody here know how to fly a plane? And the dude would be like, no, but I watched a lot of movies about flying planes. I got this. And that's how you have to approach a lot of these situations. I'm not a lawyer, not at all, but I've been in a lot of legal situations. I got this. And with that, peace, y'all. Have a great night. Thanks for checking me out. If you like it, hit the like, please. Even if you don't like it and you're just wanting to be kind at the end, it'd be all right. All right, later.